How does an actor go from just being a star to becoming a true cultural icon? A megastar, right? Someone whose influence lasts for decades. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to map out the incredible cinematic journey of one of Indian cinema's absolute giants, Chiranjeevi.
All right, so we're going to look at his journey in 4 main parts. First up, how he burst onto the scene as a totally new kind of hero. Then, how he actually built that megastar brand. After that, we'll get into the iconic roles he made his own. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at his massive legacy in cinema.
Okay, let's kick things off at the very beginning. The thing you have to understand about Chiranjeevi is that he was a total outsider. He didn't have those family connections in the industry like a lot of his peers. And his arrival? It wasn't some slow burn. Nope. It was a straight-up, high-speed blitz that basically forced everyone to pay attention.
I mean, the speed of his rise is just staggering. Seriously, look at this timeline. He makes his debut in 1978, right? And then get this, just 1 year later, he's in 14 films. 14! That's a workload that's pretty much unimaginable today. It shows you it wasn't just raw talent. This was a guy with an absolutely insane work ethic, and because of it, his face became one of the most recognized in Telugu cinema, like overnight.
Just let that number sink in. Over 50 films in just his first 5 years. That's just wild. And you see, that incredible pace, it wasn't just about padding his resume. No, it was a strategy. It was about forging this really quick, really deep connection with the audience. By being everywhere, playing all these different roles, he was basically laying the groundwork for the megastardom that was just around the corner.
So that begs the question, right? How do you go from being this incredibly hardworking actor to being more than just a workhorse? How do you become a brand? Well, that's what this next chapter is all about. It's the story of how Chiranjeevi leveled up from just a rising star to the undisputed king of the box office. And believe it or not, you can trace that massive transformation back to one single film. A movie that just changed everything. If you're looking for the big bang moment in his career, this is it. We're talking about Kaidi from 1983. This wasn't just a movie, it was a phenomenon.
So what made Kaidi such a game changer? Well, sure, it was a huge blockbuster. And yeah, it totally rewrote the rules for action films in the South. But the real magic was something deeper. It's the film that locked in his angry young man persona. That rebellious hero sticking it to the corrupt system. That idea, it connected big time with what people were feeling back then. Suddenly, he wasn't just an actor anymore. He was their voice, a symbol. He basically created a new blueprint for what a mainstream hero could be.
And yeah, this quote just nails it. He became the definitive mass hero. And what that really means is a star who connects with absolutely everyone, from the cities to the smallest villages. He wasn't just playing a role, he was embodying this powerful idea for a whole generation of moviegoers. And let me tell you, this wasn't some one-hit wonder situation. This chart shows you just how long he stayed at the top. Look at this. His 100th film in 1988, that's only 10 years in. Then you jump to 1992, and Garana Mogudu becomes the very first Telugu movie to cross the 10 crore mark. That was a huge deal back then. And then, a whole decade later, he does it again, smashing records with Indra. See? This is what we call sustained dominance. So his secret wasn't just being one thing. To really get why he's such an icon, we've got to look past the box office numbers and break down the different types of characters he absolutely perfected. The archetypes that made him, well, him. And this is where you see his incredible range. First, you've got the action hero, right? The guy from Kaidi and Tagore who stands for justice. But then there's the charismatic entertainer, the guy who could dance like nobody else and had perfect comedic timing. He also jumped into these massive fantasy worlds in movies like Jagadega Virdu Atiloka Sundari. And of course, he became the people's leader, tackling big social problems right there on the screen. And because he could do all of that, he became the absolute king of what's called the masala film. Now, if you're not familiar with the term, it's pretty much what it sounds like. A spicy mix of everything. You get action, comedy, romance, drama, and of course, amazing musical numbers all packed into one movie. To pull that off, you need an actor with unbelievable charisma and range. And nobody, but nobody, did it better than Chiranjeevi.
Okay, so this brings us to the big finish, his legacy. What does it all add up to? How did all those hit movies and iconic roles actually change Indian cinema for good?
This table is a perfect snapshot of how his on-screen hero persona grew up. Back in the 80s, with a film like Kaidi, it was all about personal revenge, right? That raw, anti-establishment anger. But then you flash forward 20 years to Tagore in the 2000s, and suddenly the fight is bigger. It's about societal justice, taking on systemic corruption for the good of everyone. He went from fighting for himself to fighting for all of us, and the movies got bigger right along with his mission.
And get this, even after taking a whole decade off for a career in politics, which is like an eternity in the film world, he came back. His 150th film was perfectly titled Kaidi No 150. And guess what? It was a smash hit. It just proved that his connection with the audience never went away. The guy's appeal is just timeless.
So when you boil it all down, what's his lasting impact? Well, for one, he completely changed the game for on-screen dance with his energy and style. He set a whole new standard for action and what a hero could physically do. He basically wrote the playbook for the pan-Indian mass hero that so many stars use today. But I think, more than anything, he showed the incredible power of an actor connecting directly with the audience, with the people. And he's done it for 5 decades.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Next time you're watching one of today's biggest movie stars, any of them, pay attention. Look at their dance moves. Look at the action scenes. Look at the way they connect with the crowd. Which parts of Chiranjeevi's blueprint do you see in them? Because I guarantee you, once you start looking for it, you'll realize his influence is absolutely everywhere.